Hey Scorpio, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome to the channel. Alright, what are we seeing here? We got Three of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Swords. This looks like there is something socially that you're doing. There can be like somebody that you're connecting with, somebody that you're hanging out with. Wheel of Fortune has to do with sort of the direction that things are going in, and I feel like you could be determining something here. To have you coming out in the energy of the Queen of Swords, this is about you using your discernment sort of with where things are going. So let's say it like this. There's a relationship that you have. Three of Cups is usually, it can be like a friendship or just somebody that you're connecting with on a social level or somebody that you're spending time with. Wheel of Fortune feels like, see how there are hands and this is sort of like a wheel? It's like, where are we going to spin things? Where are we going to take things? So this can be like, what direction are we going to take our relationship in? And having you be in the Queen of Swords energy, this is you being very mindful and aware that what you're doing sort of determines the direction that things go in. So maybe something has the opportunity, maybe this relationship that you have or this person that you're connecting with, there's an opportunity for it to sort of go a lot of different ways, and having you be in this Queen of Swords energy, this is about you using your discernment and be like, where do I want to steer this? Because Wheel of Fortune is also connected with like chance and with karma. And Wheel of Fortune feels very seven to me, of like it could go this way or it could go that way, and us determining like which of those ways is it actually going to be. I do feel like you have a big force in the direction of things, a big influence on the direction of things within this relationship. But something feels challenging right now to you. Something may be feeling like a lot of work. Like Nine of Wands feels like this is almost sort of exhausting to have to be this intentional. But Nine of Coins is also about, we have Nine of Wands and then we have Nine of Coins. This is like, it's exhausting, but also it's worth it to me, because I know that once I sort of accomplish and move through this part that may be particularly challenging right now, I know that I'm really going to enjoy this, and that's really what this is all for. Yeah, I'm saying something about plans that you're making. Trying to decide. Something looks like it's bringing up pain for you. This could be something that's still being held on to. Maybe this is also about the choice that you have when it comes to the direction that you're taking things in. Because the way that I'm seeing this, like Two of Wands is sort of about preparing and being like, okay, if I have these two options, like, am I going to go this way? Am I going to go that way? What are we going to do here? And I feel like you see one direction could lead towards this, but maybe this other direction may not be pain, because this can usually be pain or it can be healing, but it can be knowing potentially that you would be going in the direction of something like that. Three of Swords, you know, something that hurts. But then I feel like you have an option of like, you could go this way where the Three of Swords is, but also you have this option here. So it looks like you get to pick what you want to do here. And I am seeing Four of Pentacles. So you may be holding on to something here something that maybe you could be releasing or going in a different direction with. Maybe something hurts because that's part of the healing process too. And you know that, like, in order to go this way, you're going to have to move through the pain, but it's going to be something that creates stability for you within your life. And so it could be worth it to you, but it just hurts to sort of grow in that direction. But that ultimately it's going to have an effect of healing. That's what it's seeming like. It's like the only way out is through. And you're sort of keeping in mind the bigger picture here as well. So yeah, I'm seeing something about plans that you have. Plans that you're making with somebody. This is like a social arrangement of some sort. I want to clarify what this Three of Swords is. You would feel like if you're going... You could feel like you have to go through like a particular thing and that it's not going to be pleasant, but that may actually not be the case. Meaning, you may think that something is behind a door and if you go through it, like that's definitely what's going to be there, and it may be something else entirely. But it may be something that you feel resistant towards, but it's actually something that's going to be like beneficial or like part of your growth, but you could look at it and just see like the pain part of it when it's like... There may be a lot more going on than just that little thing. Like a lot more to it. Like a lot more depth even. Like maybe this is even... Maybe you're looking at something and seeing the Three of Swords and it's even reductive. You know? Like reducing it just to that. And it's so much more. Because I'm seeing that like past the Three of Swords, which again is something that we look at and it's like, oh, it's going to hurt to touch that. You have the Ten of Coins, which is like long-term stability, and you have the Sun, which is like happiness and joy and something that feels really fulfilling and something that you feel super optimistic about. It can also be something too that you look at and you're like, when I recall that, it's something unpleasant for me, and because I was seeing the Hanged Man, like you may actually end up reframing this and it's gonna speak something differently to you than it may be right now. There is a need to maneuver through a relationship, a situation with somebody intuitively. There's something in question about this relationship is what I'm seeing. Okay. Nine of Swords came out. When Nine of Swords came out, Knight of Wands was on the bottom of the deck. This can be like you feel an urge to move in a particular direction, but because you're in your head, you may have a hard time like actually like playing that out and taking action. So there's this energy within you that's like, go this way, go this way, go this way. But then you may feel a little bit locked up mentally, and it's like you can't really get moving out of that. You could feel like it's creating a bit of a barrier for you. What I am seeing though is that it's like you're gonna look at something and be like, this type of like framing is not beneficial, it's not helpful for me, and it's also not like delivering me what I need to. So I think that you're going to end up sort of stepping into the unknown, which you could have been feeling a lot of anxiety about, but you're like, it's better than staying here in this sort of like dungeon in my head. So I'm gonna move forward, even though it's kind of like a mystery what's gonna be through that door. But anything feels better than this, like being trapped here. So I'm seeing that you're gonna continue, and I'm seeing that's sort of gonna like reveal something very important to you. So you're in this spot here, and it feels like the dungeon of your mind, okay? And if you will just start walking, even though you don't know what exactly you're going to be stepping into, you know it's going to be better than being in that dungeon, okay? So you keep moving through, and I'm seeing you're actually walking towards the Ace of Swords. So you go from feeling like too much is even going on to process, to then feeling like single pointedness and very focused, and I can very clearly see what's going on here. Because this is like, so much is happening and there's so much static, and the energy within my chakras is like blasting out of my third eye, and like I can't make out what's happening here because it's overactive, to then you being like, okay, that's not productive for me. Let me keep moving. Like I'm not going to find what I need there in that spot. Like nothing is happening. And then you keep moving, and then you go to this, and that's like everything being cleared out and feeling like I can see what's going on here and I'm understanding. And I'm not looking for anything. The answer is right here. So you get that locked into place. So there's no more mystery. There's no more question. Like the truth has been acquired now. The clarity has been acquired. The realization has been realized. Something about principles coming up here. You could feel like you have to protect something. Like I'm seeing you be protective over like what you have, but this can also be your beliefs as well that are tied into this. Maybe you also feel too like you have something that you want to protect, something that's important to you. Yeah, it feels like something could have been being challenged, because I'm seeing a lot of air energy here only at the bottom. Maybe also once you realize something, you don't want anything else to sort of get in the way of that or to skew that, because I'm seeing you even feel protective sort of what's been like recognized or accomplished here. But I'm getting you also be like a bit on guard. This has to do with unknown stuff is what I'm seeing. Some of you, when things aren't particularly clear, like when the moon is involved, which can be sort of like stepping into the void or stepping into a mystery or stepping into an unknown situation of sorts. Some of you, you feel very triggered when you enter into this, and immediately you're like, what's going to jump out at me? And it may not be anything like that, but that could be sort of your go-to. It's like basically this black mirror is being held up to you, and what you see is going to be your reflection, and you may not realize that. And I'm seeing like what the part of you that's coming out is this part of you that's very much on guard here with the moon and the Five of Swords, but you may not have realized that's what was below the surface. I feel like it's subtly telling you that you may not feel completely at ease, but I'm not seeing it be like because you need to be on guard. It's more so just realizing maybe where you don't feel completely grounded, and this being something that you're understanding now that's coming to light for you. Because I'm seeing too Hermit, and this can be something that you're spending time reflecting on, like when it's like a Rorschach test, you know, when I'm looking at this thing that is just going to be reflecting what I'm projecting onto it, I'm recognizing that I'm seeing my defensiveness pop up here. Or my ego popping up here, or my fear popping up here, or my fighting energy popping up here, feeling like I can't relax. And this does feel like it's like coming out within a social situation, or it could be, yeah, there's like a social setting that I'm seeing this be connected with. But you could be feeling protective over something or of something, and like not wanting that to get in the way of something that you have. Okay. Three of Cups, Two of Wands, Nine of Swords. There can be plans that you have with somebody to hang out with somebody, and I'm seeing you feel very anxious about this. It's like getting together with someone, connecting with someone. So like there's somebody here that you're figuring things out with. So it's like, when are we going to see each other? What's going to happen? I'm seeing salmon here. So you're talking to this person, you're like, okay, well, where are we going to meet, and what's going to happen, and how long are we hanging out for? You know, it's something like that. And then I'm seeing Nine of Swords, so it's like you're very, very worried about this. Like, it's specifically about the plans that you have with this person is what I'm seeing. Maybe you also feel a bit out of control too about certain things that are happening, and maybe that feels uncomfortable for you, that you feel like some things are feeling inevitable or some things feel fated, and it's like you're recognizing certain things that you do have a hand on and a handle on, and then other things that you're like, this feels like out of my hands because it's more of like a cosmic thing that's happening here. But I am seeing too that it looks like there's some type of old pain, like residual pain, that like you don't need to stay in that place of anymore. That like you don't really need that, so you can keep walking. It's like you were walking with this thing, you know, I feel like only some of you are going to be able to understand this. If you ever, if you've ever like been working on a project, right, and you put like a screw in your pocket or like a nail or something like that, or like a thumbtack or something, and like forget, it's like you put it there just to hold on to it, and then you forget that you put it in your pocket, and then you go to walk and it like kind of like jabs you because it's in your pocket, right, and it like goes through your pants. It's something like that I'm seeing here, of like there had been something like painful that you were holding on to, but maybe it was for a reason, because you were like, well, I'm gonna need it, and that's like the only place that I can hold it right now. And now I'm seeing you get to a point where your guys are like, you can take it out of your pocket, you don't need it anymore. Because it was like you didn't feel it all the time, but sometimes when you would take a step in a certain direction, you'd sort of feel it like jabbing into you. And now I'm seeing your guides be like, okay, you don't need it, like this is the part of the journey where you can just like leave it there, because you're not going to need that spare part anymore, so you can keep moving. So it's kind of like that's happening. And also when it comes to where you're going as well, I think there's like, you're having a think right now sort of about what you're looking for on a deeper level emotionally. and that some stuff happened back there that like you don't need to stay carrying with you, because you are actually looking for what feels fulfilling to you. And there may be a painful situation that was still being held on to. And this could just not even be the situation anymore. It could just be the pain that was still sticking with you, that you're like, oh, I don't have to be carrying that around with me anymore. Like, what's that doing for me? So that means that it's going to be integrated now at this point. Now, having Queen of Swords, it shows you in a space where you're being very thoughtful, where you're really using your discernment, where you're thinking about things, where you're paying attention to things. Maybe you're feeling a bit tired because you're like, I feel like I have to be on, and I feel like I have to be paying attention to so much stuff. But I'm seeing that this is for like the greater good of your stability, and I'm seeing you definitely be clear on that. Like, you know what you're wanting long term, and you know what your bigger goals are. And I'm seeing you've spent a lot of time really thinking about this. So even though you may not have everything that you want right now materially, like presently, I'm seeing that what you're doing is, it reminds me of like when we have a vision board. Like, your vision board is perfect. I'm seeing you have everything that you need to have on there. Like, that whole vision is set. Like, you could laminate the thing. It's perfect. And you may not have all of it now, but you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish here. I am seeing that even though you have that solidified for yourself, you're still feeling like it's a challenge because you know that there's more that you have to do. And so I'm seeing you feel like, okay, well, I have this vision here and I've really thought about it and I do feel very clear on it, but I know there's still work to do. And I'm feeling tired because I've already put in a lot of work. So maybe you're feeling a bit fatigued. I think this is also about finding the things that like re-energize and re-inspire you. It's like you're doing this little race, and you know when people do marathons, they have those little packets that give them, I think it's like sugar or something. I don't know specifically what it is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like those things that people take and it like gives them energy so they can keep running along there, so they're not completely depleted. It's like that sort of thing. I'm also seeing you be very passionate about like your studies or something like that, because I'm seeing Sun and I'm seeing Hierophant. So this can be like traveling that you feel passionate about. It can be like philosophy you feel passionate about. It can be spirituality you feel passionate about. It can be teaching you feel passionate about. It can be something that you're learning that you feel passionate about. It can be something that you're, something having to do with like bigger stuff within life, like stuff that's far beyond just like who's doing what and do they like this and like what's their family drama or whatever. Like, this is the bigger type of stuff, like why is the world like this and what am I doing here and like what am I supposed to be doing here and what's my way of helping, you know? It's like these bigger things. And there's also too an understanding that's being developed of, it can also be like your morality and things like that, and like what you really believe in too. Some of you too, you may be like looking for a teacher or something. That could also be the direction that you're going in. Yeah, this can have to do with some like knowledge that you're gaining currently. Something that's being undertaken. It's something about answers that you're looking for. Putting things together. It is something that you're doing progressively, but I'm seeing it feel very challenging for you. It's like you know that you want to be doing this, but it also it feels like exhausting sometimes. Like, it really takes a lot. A lot of energy, a lot of inertia. But you know that it's going to be worth it to you because it's really going to pay off in the end, and that's the whole point of this. That's maybe what's motivating you. So you can feel tired now, but you're like, I know that this is worth it though, so I'm going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep showing up. I think also too that you may be seeing where there are parts of you coming up that can feel guarded, and it may be affecting a relationship of yours that you have, is what I'm seeing. I think it's like this worry about the unknown, or worried about, yeah, it's you feeling worried about something that you don't know yet, but I'm seeing like everything's fine. You just may feel this part of you when you're sort of dumped in a bit of an unfamiliar situation. It's like this part of you that's like, is something about to come out at me, and like, do I need to prepare for it? And you just being in that space. And I do feel like this somehow has to do with like a relationship situation of yours. I'm looking at Pisces, I'm looking at the Sun, Taurus, Jupiter. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone. I'm looking at Virgo too on the bottom of the deck. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.